So the Lite Product suite is really all the non-traditional methods of collecting data from consumers. Gone are the days where you can interview people face-to-face or via the telephone with ease. We're getting a lot of resistance from the high-end consumer in particular, who are refusing to participate in surveys. So we've needed to come up with a new way to reach this audience, and we've done this through a set of mobile techniques and data collection methods, which include things like SMS, USSD, IVR, email, mobile online surveys, using mobile apps to collect data from consumers, which really has the benefit of engaging the consumer at the moment they're purchasing a product or busy making a decision or having a service experience. So it makes it more engaging for the respondent, and we are finding that we get much higher response rates when using technologies such as this, because it's just something that's more natural to the modern consumer to engage with technology, given the great big developments in social media that are happening at the moment. So it really speaks to what the consumer experiences on a day-to-day basis, and researchers had to move in that same direction in order to be meaningful and relevant to the consumer. Media companies, FMCG companies, telecommunications companies, it really cuts across the board. As I said earlier, it's really dependent on the target audience and whether or not they have access to the right technology, and whether or not the content area that you're busy investigating is suitable for this kind of technology. It obviously doesn't work in all cases, but when you're looking at niche products or niche brands or luxury products and brands, you're more likely to find the uptake of this kind of methodology it's more likely to be higher. But also, on the other hand, when you're trying to do a big national study where you need a probability sample, this kind of method is not going to work, because you don't have the high penetration rates in terms of internet connectivity or sophisticated smartphones that can actually handle the technology. So it really more depends on the content and the population and target group that you're interested in, more so than the type of industry that we work with. Yes, absolutely. But a 6-smartphone would be fine. For SMS and USSD type surveys, any phone would work. Obviously, they have certain limitations built into them, but you can reach a wide population using USSD type protocols to collect data. On the SMS USSD side, it's very similar to when you would top up on prepaid. You'd send a message, or we'd send you a message, you'd reply, and you'd get a little menu back, and there would be a question, and you would have to key in 1, 2, or 3, or yes or no kind of thing, and it would send the data back, and you'd receive another question, and we'd interact and engage in that kind of way, up to about 5 or 6 questions at a time. So it's very similar to how you would top up your prepaid cell phone, for example. So it's very familiar technology. It's something the population at large uses on a daily basis, and for that reason it's very engaging, and people are very receptive to using it because it's just natural. It's something they do all the time. What we're finding now is that lucky draws and lottery type mechanisms work better than cash incentives or any other type of incentives. So lucky draws are at the moment the in thing and seem to work best and achieve the highest response rates. In all target markets, for some reason, I think there's a lot of psychology behind lotteries and people's perceptions around the probability of winning prizes, and that's obviously very engaging as well, to partake in a lottery and have an opportunity to win something, which is normally bigger than an individual incentive. Absolutely not. This is a big advantage of this method in that it allows for bigger sample sizes than traditional research data collection methods. So you have the advantage of reaching more people on a more regular basis in a much more cost-effective manner. Big sample sizes also allow for us to build experimental designs into this kind of methodology. So you can have a control group and an experimental group, and that's a really powerful way to develop your findings in a research project, as opposed to the normal survey research. So this kind of methodology has no limits from a sampling perspective. It has actually more advantages from a methodology point of view. It's much more flexible in terms of the kinds of designs you can use.